Welcome to 28 days of consciousness shift with Jesus, channeling Jesus. So this is my 6th day channeling Jesus, and I just want to share some things about the process. So what normally happens is that I just start to share a little bit about my situation, and then at some point he will just take over. And you usually feel, I can definitely tell. I usually don't say that when it happens, so I invite you to feel into that. I don't want to interrupt the transmission to say stuff like that, because I just wanted to hook up to that stream. That's really what it is. And so I just am going to start to talk, and then let's just see what Jesus has to say. So I noticed that today has been quite a challenging day. I noticed myself going into patterns of behavior that almost like was focused more on the outside than the inside. And so that has also led to feeling almost out of my body again. It's very interesting, because this is something that we want you to pay attention to. The way that this being experienced this today, to feel out of his body. He's not used to feeling that now, because now he has trained himself to stay in the body more predominantly of the time. So he has developed a level of frequency that is quite high. But he is still in the process of calibrating, so that whenever he feels like this, we can still come through. But it doesn't feel that good for the body, and it is I doubted. It's interesting. I just want to share from the human perspective, injecting, because sometimes it requires some explanation, because this is also an exploration in consciousness, in actually what is consciousness. So sometimes I will doubt. So I'm not getting the right feeling, or maybe it could be that I'm doubting for my mind a little bit, certain information, and then it's not clean. So then what I usually do is I stop, and then I don't say anything, and then I just wait for it to be clean. This is what I can describe it as, because it is sort of like I'm feeling my body constantly. So I'm feeling for that resonance. And I know that I'm connected to Jesus. And I work with him a lot now. And I used to before as well, but it was through other beings. And so now I am getting familiarized with Jesus in a totally different way. To have him manifest inside of his own body, it's something that he is used to. He is used to my feeling this way, but he hasn't known that it was me all along, type of thing, that it was my energy and him intertwined in certain areas. He also knows when it's only his higher self. There's this particular frequency difference. So it's a very interesting concept, consciousness. What is it? We can project our thoughts and our consciousness onto another. If we keep focused on another object outside of us, that's literally what we're doing. We're keeping our attention onto someone else, and that other being gets that energy. They get your energy. because you have focused your attention on that person. And it doesn't matter if it is a distorted, twisted view or hate, they still get that energy. That's why you see many dysfunctional relationships stay together for that. Because they want that attention. Because they don't believe that they have it themselves. And that is a codependent way of functioning from within. And so only by really feeling, only by knowing your energy, only by, you see, sometimes it's like that. But I'm feeling, and I'm feeling for incongruencies. So this is my practice also, to get in line with that frequency. And I'm not used to showing my mishaps like this. I'm used to not sharing those things, or perhaps not recording in these moments when I have been focused outside so much that I almost have felt a little bit outside of me. And so I have done a lot of work before recording here to get back in. But I can still feel the sort of damage that it did to my body for not being with it. It's almost like that. It's like my body just... And here's what actually this led to. Because it always leads to some behavior. If I'm not paying attention and the body is following me and my guidance. So we were just too much on the computer. And so the focus that each being has is coming from God. It is your speck of God. And you decide where you place that. That speck of God is who you are. That is what usually should stay in here, in your sacred heart. The fire of the heart. That is that sacred place. I mentioned in another video about how you can alchemize distorted energies by placing it in there. So that is where you should place your attention more predominantly on yourself and feeling yourself. Because computers are very good. Everything outside of you is not a problem if you're centered in here with your focus. But everything turns into a problem if you're focused outside of you for too long, where you get a little bit lost. Because what actually happens when you do that energetically is that you as the soul, which is this speck of attention, if you can get sucked into different realities in your sort of imagination. So when you're seeing websites and imagery and videos, you sort of travel inside of your head, but you're not looking after your body necessarily. It depends how well anchored you are to these physical vessels. It's very important to be grounded here. And there are so many distractions to try and get that attention from you. Hey, come look here. Ah, no, a little bit naked thing here. Ah, no, look here. Oh, show a little skin here. It's so much. Buy this, buy me, try me. For free. Come here. New modality, new thing. Oh, this will work for this thing, or this, it's for that thing, or oh, you should try the new thing, or oh, I got myself a new thing, or all of these things. that is wanting your attention based on your focused, habitual patterns. And those are the body's patterns. And that's what you have going on. And we all have patterns. It's just, are they serving you or are they not? If you don't have patterns running in your body that is not serving you, then you, as the soul, as the spark of light that is operating this body that is much grander than just this spark of light, but you can expand. But you are still this spark of light that is operating this body. This body in my case, this body in your case, your body in your case. Because that spec's responsibility that you took on by being here was to look after the body, energetically, especially. Because unless you know how to manage these bodies properly, it's easy to get lost in fantasy and things that are not true energetically. And unless something is true energetically, it's not really true. It's just a fantasy. And you can have many groups of people believing in a fantasy, creating a fake reality. No, they're creating a real reality, but in a reality that doesn't gain. There are so many different levels of reality that we can operate in. But we have to anchor the habits that make those realities stay. We are on this massive shift. And so this is day 6 in the Channeling Jesus 28-day consciousness shift. And this is where it's at. We need to decide what we want to do here. Because the spiritual game is not about just sitting and meditating on a cloud, watching and waiting for Gaia and everything to bloom and shift. That is not it, my dear. You have a responsibility of anchoring your light onto these planes. That is how we share and shine our light. So that means, what do I need to do to be more of me? How can I turn what's inside of me out? And for that, definitely need to be centered within. Sometimes beings are operating out there. And whenever you are operating out there, you are not seeing reality correctly. And that is very classic if you are maneuvering what people are might be feeling and thinking about you, and oh, this person is angry, or you're why is he like this, and like my job is this, and all of that is by definition the dualistic perspective, because it is outside. But when you take your experience inside first, meaning that you are, like they say on the airplane, put on your mask first before you put your mask on your baby or your kid. And the same for this, energy game. This is the most loving thing to do, because it is in harmony with every living being that you see around you. Do you see a bird being shy to sing its song? No. They are there with the fullness of their energy through their particular shape and creation, expressing their uniqueness. And that is exactly what you are invited to do. To share your unique snowflake. And there are many light workers that are still working on breaking free of that shell that was sort of forced upon you when you were younger. And you might still think that there are things to shift and change, and yes, there might be. But the main thing is that you start to take responsibility for where you're at right now, regardless of what has happened, so that you are present now in your body, speaking for you now, bringing through and harmonizing things that are distorted. If you have distorted views, that needs to be corrected. Distorted views, they create distorted energies within you. Right? So if you're seeing the reality around you incorrectly, you're going to create incorrectly. So the main operating system needs to be in place for how energy works. And that is first inside of yourself, and then to others. The first thing is to get to know your body. Here Gaia confirming this. This is how Gaia confirms. Because this being is connected to her. He has done his job. He has done his work to connect. And because of that, Gaia responds to this channeling transmission in evidence like this, because the energy goes there and it flows everywhere, because it's grand. This energy is grand. What you can land here is grand. It's big. You can land and run energy through your body much more than you are. You can turn up the lumens on your light body, your Merkaba. That is literally what this shift will do to you. Because love on this physical plane is more closer to truth, energetic truth. Because before you see energetic truth, you're not actually dealing with that soul and that individual. You're dealing with patterns of energy. So there are many patterns of energy, and you need to look after them. You need to watch out for them. Meaning, you need to pay attention that you don't fall for them. Because what does that do? That just keeps you in one frequency. That's all what that is. And many beings are just stuck in a roller coaster. That's just one frequency. What this is, this will take you up in frequency. So if you do this, you follow this one day at a time, it will shift you up in frequency. Because we are introducing new thoughts and new systems of thinking with these bodies, so that you are clearly anchored, or clearer in your energy, anchored into Gaia. So that the energy streams we are cleaning your energy pretty much with this. You are assisting by listening to let this reverberate into your cells and absorb it, even if you might not comprehend it yet. This is part of awakening into more comprehension. More comprehension means more light. When you, as the soul, comprehend more of this reality, the way that it functions, you will receive more light. That is the goal. That is how this works. And so that is how it is to be a light worker. That you know how to open this so that you can see more. Many beings still think that we can see, still believe in reality like this. The reality of the planet is way bigger. We have so much potential here. What is the limitation? It's the human consciousness. That's why 28-day consciousness shift. So we are expanding your awareness about what reality is, so that we can comprehend bigger who we are as energy beings. That is what the soul is. And I will explain to you how you can use your energy to comprehend more. But first we need to learn that your speck of light, and it's your responsibility to look after your body. So if you are paying attention to the outside, absolutely make that a priority to start to pay attention inside. And this is something you need to really do every single day and start to catch yourself. This is something that needs to be trained. This is how we correct our behavior to anchor and hold more light. This is how we do it. Because we need to use our attention, our speck of consciousness on ourselves and our situation to have that grow. The more you're watching the news or watching this neighbor talk about this or going out with your friends and doing this and partying here and going to this there, and the more you're scattering your energy into places that, unless you want to, it's always a choice, obviously. But pay attention that all of these things that you are entertaining are your choices. Your soul's choices. Right? Otherwise, you have adhered to some other belief about how you should behave. And there are levels to this. But in order for us to see bigger, we need to see bigger. Makes sense? In order for us to see bigger, we need to see bigger. Hang on a second. Right now, I'm just sitting here and just trying to get back into that stream. Sometimes it's like that. And the trick is to be completely okay with it. And just, because if you're not okay with it, then you're going the wrong direction. You know, like it is just the way it is. You know, okay, this is reality. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. And that is energetic truth. That is what energetic truth is. That you just see reality. That you see reality for what it really is. And that is the closest to love on this planet. Because you will help each other to elevate in frequency by doing that, if you're looking at it with the right lens and perspective, unless it is seen as criticism or not enough or whatever those dualistic training loops that you can get into. Many have trained, certainly this being had to train out of many of these. And that is the whole point, so that we can elevate in frequency and bring in more light here on this planet. Whatever you're doing, this will help both you and the planet. And this type of change is mandatory. You don't have a choice with the way that the frequencies are rising. It's just these are available for free so that you do have something. So that you can start to adjust to these frequencies. Because for some, it's a lot. It can be a lot. for many, these shifts that Gaia is transcending, it can be a lot for the bodies to go through. There's a lot of changes that needs to happen in our psychology for these energies to really take footing and to have a much better time in the coming years. So this is out of pure love from all of our galactic beings and all of our hearts to gift this consciousness shift program to you. We hope that it will bring you great joy, great blessings, and allow you to elevate in frequency past the dualistic perspective to the perspective where you get to commune with higher intelligence. We like to play with that because of artificial intelligence. And this is something that is really important nowadays, actually, because connecting to HI is much more important, and you get much clearer guidance on how to move in your life, what to look out for, and how to maneuver these coming changes, what to do, what not to do. And basically it's everyone's birthright to be connected to their own guides. This is something that everyone can do. And this is highly trainable. And this is something we do train people in. But these are the first steps. And so we need to take baby steps in consciousness before we can run. And so it's important that's why some beings can do miraculous things with their bodies, like these levitations and all of these things that are sort of hidden away, but it exists people that can do miraculous things like that with their energy body, and they have mastered something that most people find unbelievable. I want to tell you that they are possible in a different frequency. There are different frequencies that's possible. And so frequencies match each other. So in order for you to be a match to certain frequencies, you need to calibrate. And although those are extreme examples, it starts with, we have to start from the ground level. And that's what this is. These are just different levels. So we have to start to learn how to go up and down in frequency. And down too, because sometimes we need to go down to clean up, to keep rising. And that's important. It's important to clean up, meaning, what does that mean? Like, I can feel what that was, because my energy was not so playful that I normally was, and that helped. That was interesting, because I was just like it was fun for the body to experience that. So here, do you see how loving that is? That was Gaia telling me, hey, lighten up with your energy, by poking me with a little. Do you see how loving that is? That is Gaia helping me to get more love flowing through this body. It's a little kiss from a from a bug, right? And it's a different way of looking at it. Most people don't look at life like that. But I want you to start to look at life like that. Oh, but it's not real. How do you know? Oh, well, I'm not seeing it here. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Because because you are in a different frequency. And the first thing that needs to happen is that you recognize that you are in a different frequency. And then also recognize what frequency are you in. How do you determine? You determine by either how you feel, or you can also determine by what is around you. Does this feel uplifting? Is this a dump? That is also one way to tell. Once you know truly where you're at, everything, not just your fantasy, not where you think you're at, but when you really get an honest read from where you're at energetically, it's only then that true healing can start. Because then you have accepted where you are. That is the first thing that has to happen. You have to see yourself clearly. Many beings go around with shadows. That means parts of them that they try to hide. If they're actually very selfish and they pretend not to be, and then the face that they portray is pretend not to be, because that is what we are trained to do in order to be nice people. That creates a shadow inside of a person, because this inside is split. It doesn't know what to do. Because outside I need to behave one way and inside I feel something else. It's not okay to do that thing. That is what the duality is. There is an inside reality and there is an outside reality, and those two are separate. They're two different ones. Do you see? Do you see now? That is the duality. You're living two different lives, two different realities. You're living your inside reality that you haven't dared to share or is not accepted by the outside reality. Right? Or no, it's not that it's not accepted, it's not the same. It's like you're living a different reality, what you're talking to people about, than what you're doing inside. The only way to correct that is to go inside and share what you have out. And then you have conversations from that place. That is the only remedy. To be energetically correct, which is the only thing to be here. To live this reality, you need to be energetically correct. That's what we wanted to share for today. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. You are wonderful beings. You're doing well. This is an encouragement. These times are challenging. We get that your human bodies are going through it. It is a challenge, but we know you can do it. Ask for support from one another. Start to get human interaction from people that actually support you. We love you, and we wish you a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Ciao. Thank you for watching. I don't have too much to add either. I'm just enjoying. I'm going to enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Ciao.